Hey guys, let me get my setup together. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday evening. I'm not going to be too long, but if you are new here, my name is Lolo Alexis, aka System of Curves on Instagram, Facebook, and my blog. And today's topic is going to be about the fat of the matter as it pertains to fertility, being fat, seeking fertility assistance, and why Shady Girl Fertility probably isn't the best place, at least not the Columbia, Maryland location, isn't probably the best place for you if you are seeking fertility Q&A, if you're trying to figure out where your hormonal load is, all that jazz. So let's rewind to my previous video, not the one that I just posted a couple of weeks ago for my closet sale, but my previous video concerning scrambled eggs, me finally going through the process of trying to figure out if I'm fertile, and if I am fertile, what do I need to do to improve my chances, if my tubes are blocked, all those things. If you know anything, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to move around this much, but want to go live real quickly to give you guys this update because I know that it's important to me and a lot of sisters who are still in limbo in terms of their fertility status. As you guys know, PCOS comes with a lot of symptoms, and one of those symptoms absolutely impacts fertility. So, me being 36 years old, no kids, only one true recorded pregnancy scare on the books, and not being married, I wanted to kind of start beginning my journey into conception. As I said on the last video, no, I don't have a husband. No, I'm not dating anybody seriously enough to where I would just be out here popping out random kids. But I think that one of the most important things you can do as a human, male or female, is to know your status, is to know your health outcomes, is to be the champion and the first person in line to be able to tell somebody about your health and how your body reacts and your symptoms, and just being overall the expert of your body. So for me, I wanted to ensure that if fertility is not an option naturally, what would be my options? I'm coming into obviously my late 30s. Already that's reduced fertility according to scientific research. Already it's high risk pregnancy because you're older, because the baby's egg is older, and your body just naturally may not be as flexible in the cervical area, in the cervix, to hold a baby full term. There's just a lot of different health conditions that can come along with having a baby later in life. No, it was not my initial plan, but hey, we're here. I don't regret God's decisions when it comes to my life. I don't question them, but I do feel like faith without works is dead. And so if I do desire to have a baby eventually, I need to be actively pursuing my status. So fast forward, I go to my gynecologist, they're pressing me to have a baby. But because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, they want me to ensure that my hormonal load is healthy and, optimal for even considering pregnancy, or if I'm going to be infertile. I don't really know. So, love Dr. Rose, right? She said, hey, I'm going to refer you to Shady Grove Fertility so that you can at least get your blood work done. I want to be able to see where your levels are. And then from there, because she doesn't do prenatal work, I can't remember which side of OB/GYN only deals with the vagina, but doesn't carry through term of pregnancies and everything in between. But she only does the half that cares for the vagina. on the front end. She doesn't do any type of prenatal work past that point. Like, she could not be my gynecologist if I did get pregnant, because she does not do that. So we just wanted to get my blood work done so that she can look at it and then refer me to a gyno that could kind of guide me in the direction of how to boost my fertility. Let me repeat, blood work, okay? Not we're getting pregnant now. And because she doesn't do the type of, OBGYN work that I needed, that is why she sent me to Shady Grove, because she could not actually put the orders in to get the tests done so that we can look at my results. Okay. Right. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to set my appointment up with Shady Grove Fertility. I knew I didn't even look at the reviews first, because I was just already going through anxiety, because as a sister, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be one of those decisions and one of the results to really give me insight of if I'll ever be a mom. So I'm freaking out. Okay. I'm freaking out because I'm like, this is like a life altering decision that I'm heading down. Like, if I can't have kids, if my body is not hormonally, up to par, and there's no chance based on these test results, I have to come to terms that I will not be a mom naturally. Right. So I didn't even think to look for reviews. I just booked my appointment and kind of went into this zombie mode of like, okay, let me not overthink about it, but I'm thinking about it every day leading up to the point, researching all of the other ways to boost fertility, just freaking myself out. So imagine what kind of, bedside manner someone should have when you're going through a struggle like that. Show up on time, fill out my paperwork, pay my fee. I can't even think right now. Not my deductible fee, but there we go. Pay my copay. Sitting in the waiting room, waiting to be called back to just begin the discussion. So I get called back, and the first thing the doctor does is he looks at me and he's like, I hope you're not trying to get pregnant at your size. Doesn't even ask me, okay, how can I help you? Doesn't even say, okay, tell me about your history. Nothing. Just looks at me, says, I hope you're not trying to get pregnant at your size. I mean, I know that you don't, look that big, but you're also not 6 feet tall. And if you're having unprotected sex right now, you probably should stop. So now the appointment is going to take a turn into the dark side, because not only do I feel disrespected, because who wouldn't, if I don't even get a chance to sit down to walk you through my medical history, and you already make a presumptuous statement that I'm trying to get pregnant in my current body. But even if I was, let's be very clear that there have been years and years, I mean, centuries of fat women getting pregnant naturally with no health ailments. Okay. There have been plenty of women bigger than myself who have brought life into this world. So regardless if I wanted to get pregnant right now or not, fertility and your weight does not always go hand in hand. Not every fat person suffers from fertility issues, right? And not every fat person goes through health issues while pregnant. But anyway, so I sit down and I said to him, well, no, I'm not trying to get pregnant right now. I was referred here simply because my OBGYN cannot put in the orders for the blood work needed to just look at my hormone levels to see, my chances of getting pregnant since I'm 36. He was like, well, there's no blood test that can tell you that information. There's no blood test. I can tell you right now, whatever the test says, it's going to be directly linked to your weight, and it's going to show that you're infertile. There's no test that can really deep dive in and let us know that you're able to have kids. But I'm going to tell you right now. So I stopped him and I said, listen, I have PCOS. PCOS doesn't have a like a person, okay? You can be lean with PCOS and infertile. You can be plus size with PCOS and infertile. So this is not about size right now. This is about my hormonal load. This is about whether or not I even produce enough progesterone naturally during my, what is the word? Lord, what is going on with me? This is to see if I produce enough progesterone during my menstrual cycle phases, okay? This is to see if I trigger enough AMH, sir. I've been doing my research. So this is to see if my body, when I'm going through my cycle, which is around 25 to 28 days, if my phases are producing and triggering and firing off the hormones that it needs to. Because I had to remind him, I am a PCOS sufferer, but I have regular periods, which I let him know. But just because you have a regular period cycle does not mean you're always ovulating, right? Okay. So I go through all that. He was like, yeah, and I hear what you're saying. I mean, you're pretty young. Most women don't go through menopause anyway until their 50s. Bullshit. Okay. That varies from woman to woman. There are women who go through menopausal symptoms in their 30s. There are women who full-fledged go through menopause in their early 40s. Okay. I was so irritated because I was not being heard. And so then when we went through our partner information, he's just like, I just want to reiterate to you that you need to be using a condom until you drop about 70 to 80 pounds. And even then, it's probably going to be high risk. Like, I don't want to see you until you lose at least 120 pounds, and then we can work with you. And I told him, I said, I think you're missing the point. I'm not trying to get pregnant right now. This is to forecast and put myself on a healthy plan to achieve pregnancy if and when I have a partner to have a baby with. This is not for the now. This is for the future. I don't even have anybody to have a baby with. And as a Black woman, already we have to fight so hard for our bodies in these spaces, okay? I can't tell you how many times growing up that I had to lie on my medical paperwork just so the doctor would run additional tests, okay? And I know that sounds crazy, and it may be like, really? Like, everybody's sick. When I'm filling out pre-existing conditions, everybody gonna be sick, okay? Because I need you to run that back. I need you to have me sitting at LabCorp, veins exposed, run me my blood work, okay? That's the type of person I am. And you're not gonna tell me that I'm fine. You're not gonna scream that to me. But it's sad that that's how hard and heavy Black women have to be in the doctor's office, because otherwise we will be deemed as, oh, you're just complaining. You're good. Your body's strong. It's healthy. You're fine. And no, I'm not fine. Okay. So it felt that way when he was dismissing me and my concerns about my fertility. I was so pissed. Like, I just told him, I said, you're being very rude. I was like, you're not listening to anything. You're not looking over my paperwork. You're not even looking at my doctor's write up. You're focusing on my weight, and you're letting my weight dictate how much care and bedside manner I'm going to receive because you don't like what you see in front of you. And he just stood there. He was like, well, I just hate when people don't tell you prior to booking an appointment that, you're not a candidate for fertility. So I got up and left. My appointment probably lasted 15 minutes at most. I checked out, I went to my car, and I let out tears. It ruined my entire day. Not because, I knew he was right, because I knew he wasn't right, but the level of fat phobia and the level of dismissiveness, I had never experienced that in my adult years living in the DMV area. I had never experienced someone basically telling me I was too fat to get pregnant without even doing the due diligence of doing my blood work, without listening to the fact that I didn't say I wanted to get pregnant today, without listening to my health concerns and not listening to my historical health information to understand that, baby, I suffer from PCOS. So regardless if I lost 10 pounds, baby, I may not be fertile after a 10-pound weight loss. I may not be fertile after 100 pounds. I need to see what my hormones are doing right now. And I was denied that right with Shady Grove Fertility. And then when I went up and I looked up the ratings, I realized that this was not a solo occurrence, that this specific doctor is known to have an issue with fat women and does not like to service them. So, of course, me being as eloquent as I am, I made sure to write the most disgusting, vile review on every page I could, Yelp, multiple Google addresses, medical ratings, all that, anything that I could leave a review on, I made sure I left it. And then I re-educated him on the types of tests that can be run to give a better predictive, answer into if a woman with polycystic ovarian syndrome can actually conceive. Because not all of us are infertile. In fact, a lot of us are not. We are just not educated on what to do to boost our fertility. And we're not educated on what we're looking for in our blood work and how to improve those numbers, how to supplement ourselves, how to add the essential nutrients and diet changes to our lifestyle to assist us in being more optimal to carry. You know what I mean? We're not given that education. I remember 10 years ago, actually 12, when I was first diagnosed with PCOS, I was immediately told I wouldn't have babies before blood work came. And once I started doing the research myself, and I met so many sisters who have had not one kid, multiple children, and started talking and advocating for myself and learning about holistic therapies, learning about different, remedies, learning about how to care for my body better, I was able to restore my menstrual cycle naturally. I took myself off of birth control and I said, we're going to work on this because, God, I know this vessel of yours that you done gave me can do some miraculous things. So you're not going to tell me I can get some of this equilibrium and balance back. So even with me being able to do that, I won't sit here and say I'm infertile, but it's important to me to know, okay, if I'm here, is there a way I can get there? But Shady Grove Fertility didn't give that option. And it's embarrassing, honestly, for the brand in and of itself. I'm not going to sit here and dog the entire Shady Grove Fertility brand because I have heard beautiful stories from people across my social platforms. I've read beautiful stories about Shady Grove Fertility in other spaces and places that justify why they're still in business. But baby, when I tell you the Shady Grove Fertility location in Columbia needs to be shut down and shut up I mean that, okay? It needs to be shut down and shut up because the mishandling of patients there is sickening. The horrible customer service is terrible. And then got a nerve to send me a bill. I'm about to dispute it. Baby, I'm gonna call and be like, I wasn't even serviced. I didn't even receive an appointment that lasts longer than 5 minutes. Baby, you need to run this off the books. I don't know how you need to balance the book, but you need to take this up off my load because I'm paying for an appointment I didn't get. I'm paying for blood work that apparently I was too fat to get. I've never heard of someone being too fat to get their veins poked. All right. My arm is pretty normal to me. Yeah, we got a little chub, but my veins, they right here. You can find them. A phlebotomist can find them. I've given enough blood to the medical association to know there's enough of our blood floating across blood banks across this state to know you can draw blood. So what am I paying for? Because I did not get an appointment. I did not get service. All right. I did not receive medical care that day, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. But anyway, thank God I received a referral to a Black gynecologist who basically was like, "You're lying. Shady Grove did not say that." I said, "They did." And she said, "That's disgusting and despicable. But hey, let me tell you what we're going to do." She was like, "You have PCOS. Thankfully, women with PCOS, their AMH is typically higher later in life because the balancing of hormones changes for you guys as you approach 40. So the possibility of you having a baby actually increases." Oh, school me, sis. She asked me about my sexual health history. I told her, and she said, the next thing we need to check, and we're going to get into that another day, but the next thing we need to check is to make sure your tubes are not blocked because of certain things that have happened in your life medically. Because you may not have been getting pregnant because your tubes may have some scar tissue or other situations going on that is blocking access to your eggs. Okay, sis, run that. and and on top of that, I got my first mammogram. She said, "Yeah, you're young, but you're Black. And because breast cancer runs in Black populations in much younger age ranges, we're going to start you up now. By all means, sis." She was like, "I'm going to say somebody in your family has it and that you saw a lump so that your insurance will approve it." Go off, sis. It is so important. I can't tell you, I felt relieved. I'm going to get my blood drawn tomorrow to give insight so that I can go over this with someone who actually has compassion for my situation. And as a woman with PCOS, this is colorless. You deserve compassion. You deserve compassion for your journey into fertility. You deserve to be treated like someone who needs that special touch because this is a sensitive topic. This is not something that's easy for anybody to endure as a woman, especially a woman who wants kids. Okay. So your bedside manner and your customer service skills have got to be on point. Because if not, you can break someone's spirit. I just think it was heinous how that doctor over at Shady Grove Fertility in Columbia did. Because I wouldn't want any woman to experience what I went through. Thank God I was able to bounce back and find someone who does care about my goals and my dreams and my wishes. But not every woman continues down that path when they are met with such disgusting treatment. So I just wanted to share that excerpt of my follow-up. Ladies, I have heard that Shady Grove Fertility really won't see you unless your BMI is under 30%. So keep that in mind. if you are seeking further assistance for fertility help, they may not be the ones for you until you're at that point in life. So stay tuned for my next topic next week. And as always, love, live, be yourself, and enjoy the life God has blessed you with. Have a wonderful evening.